Hey, this is a disclaimer. This was not made out of spite or hate for the game, community, or devs of Hexaria. I do love the game truly and wish I would still be there to help out. I highly suggest listening to the full video for a good experience. What I'm going to discuss today will be my experience and opinions of Hexaria, both good and bad, alongside relay what I've heard and seen from a range of the community. I will keep everything as anonymous as I can to protect the people and devs' opinions and statements. Please do not harass anyone about this, keep it respectful and friendly. If you have any questions that were not covered in this video, feel free to comment and I will try to the best of my abilities to answer them. There might be some parts of the video you may be confused or want elaboration. Check that part, there may be notes going into details on what I tried to convey. I apologize for how long this is along with how messy this all may feel. After tons of script writing such as this one I'm reading right now, I figured it was best to just speak my mind and look at the script only to read statements or opinions from the community. Without further delay, I hope you enjoy this video.
Hello adventurers, it is I, Cards from Cards in the Studio, your favorite musician of Hexaria. Well, former musician for Hexaria. Yeah, it may or may not be a shocker, but I finally left the Hexaria team. And I want to say for good, but I really don't know. I don't want to give you all, or anyone in the dev team, hope that I'll come back to compose or contribute to Hexaria. As stated before, I've made a statement in the server of my departure, a little more professional, just keeping it short, simple. Me and a dev didn't see eye to eye, which sounds a bit odd and vague, and has probably a lot of questions from you and maybe some other staff members who didn't expect this. I mean, who would? I was very passionate for this game and had a bunch of silly ideas that I wanted to help with and compose. I mean, a personal project of mine was honestly having the music box. This system where if you went somewhere or in a certain location, a different melody would play, giving that area more, in my opinion, life. It was a nice thing, and I wanted to put something everywhere. You know, make sure there was no piece of silence left in this world. Well, the world that has been so meticulously created, if that's the right word even. So what led to this point? I'll be completely honest. I don't feel it would do any justice if I just outright said all the troublesome things I had with how this certain development has led me over the edge of, yeah, this is not good for me, good for anyone. It'd be better off if I just close things, right? So, I'm going to talk about my full experience with Hexaria, the great and the minor discomforts that I've had. Where shall I start, eh? I think, what was it? The year was 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Or at least, that's when I'm checking the badge as of currently. Turns out I earned the Ganaku winning badge at 2018, March 15th. First time I beated my boss. It was great. I don't remember that adventure too fondly, I'll be honest with you. Maybe it was just when I found the game by myself before any of my friends joined along. I was just simply testing out the area. Looking around, playing around, seeing what different cards could do, and getting myself beaten up to a pulp with a bunch of rocks. Suffice to say, it was interesting enough, and at the time I've been desperate to find another RPG turn-based game that I could enjoy, maybe with friends as well. A lot of the games at the time, if I'm not mistaken, had this very narrow way of combat. Walk in, you swing your sword, and that's it. You just rush them down, or better yet, try to cheese them out by behind a wall. Nothing too crazy, but it was entertaining at the time. But I craved for something more. And that's when I discovered this turn-based RPG, Hexaria. It was different, to say the least. I liked it. So I gave it more and more time, and eventually I did ended up playing with my friends. My very, very old friends that are now long gone doing greater things that I'm sure they would be happy doing. But I do cherish the memories. There's this one fight that I had with KOT. I didn't clip this, one of my pals did it, but I'll see if I can find it in the files. If I do, I will graciously show you about this. So let me take a moment to see in my computer to see if I find it.
Oh, nice. Regen.
Healing.
Like,
Legit healing rock swag. Did not know healing rock exists in this game as well.
Finally, the banana peel
oh,
worked.
wow. Oh, wow, the banana
Yeah.
actually did. He slipped. He shot the duck.
Man,
Uh.
I'm a fucking beat. Alright, for that he gets a.
As you can see, it was a blast, to say the least. You heard my voice crack and everyone else giggling in laughter of this silly little instance of this fellow slipping up on a banana peel during combat. There's something about Hexaria that has that nice charm, artistically and story-wise. I mean, how many games can you say that the bad guy stabbed my duck, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show him what's for. And as you run across the map, you slip on a banana peel and fall on your back. I mean, that's amazing. That's art. As silly and dramatic as it is, it's beautiful. It creates those special little memories, even though it's just some simple, stupid Roblox game. It was one that brought joy to many and joy to myself. So much so that during the time I was into drawing and starting to get used to how art works, I wanted to do fan art of the game. I wanted to make these little arts that were based on stories that I've had, personal experience or others, where I'd be adventuring the land and I'd take photos, how do you say, of players in different poses, situations, all that kind of stuff. Not for payment, not for anything like that, or trades, mainly because I think that was against the rules at the time. More so just because it was fun. I liked that this world was given so much life and I can't even think of the words to describe it. Let me take a sip of my orange juice. Where was I? Right. There was obviously so much care and dedication put into this game, this passion project. As far as I'm aware of, none of them are getting paid, if that makes sense. They haven't been for a long time, or if I'm not mistaken, not at all even. They can correct me if I'm wrong. They do it because they love the game. They love what they do, and there's more that they want to give. They're happy to see you, the community, happy. Anyways, after doing a few art pieces and whatnot, I realized something interesting. The more I played the games over the years, there was a lot of places that had the same Gonaku Dark Crypt theme or Olbrecht's majestic orchestra playing. Now, don't get me wrong, those pieces are lovely and amazing and what helped me build what I could today. Because without any of those, I would not have been this motivated to compose music. Let alone, Hexaria as a whole has inspired me more and more to become an artist, which I thank so graciously that I discovered this game and that this game was created. Because if it wasn't for this game, I don't think I'd be here today, or even with this much of an audience. I'm grateful for that, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. With all that being said, I wanted to help contribute to this passion project. It gave so much joy and whimsy to me, along with other people in the community, that I thought, you know what, I want to give back. I want to entertain people the same way this game did. So, I started pairing some music with my art. Most of the art was then kind of turned around on ideas and concepts. What if Necromancer, not this one, the Darksteel one, had their own theme? Or Zombified Monstrosity, what if they had their theme? It's things like that. With all that being said, I figured it was about time that I tested out the waters. I put my music alongside with the art. That way, if players ever got bored of the music in Hexaria, they could just simply go into the community server, look at fan arts, click on this little file here, and boom, you got your whole new soundtrack inspired by this area, or this character. I loved it. I loved the idea and concept of it. And from my understanding, you guys as well enjoyed listening to those themes, whether it was in combat or you were just taking a walk outside, which is great. I'm glad it brought you guys this joy. Same with the developers, because at the time, I didn't know, but they were keeping an eye on me, to the point where even one of them reached out to me to compose something for their own work. At the time, I was still a bit young and ambitious. I was overjoyed by this news, hearing that the same developers that have gave me so much laughter and stories to go for want me to help them, to work with them. It's any artist's dream, I feel, to get noticed by someone who's inspired them. With that being said, I feel that's where things start to really catch up. In the sense of the uncomfortable parts about development. See, after that commission, I was more willing to do music and, of course, continue to do it. I may have pushed aside some real-world projects and my own education for this, but it wasn't just because of Hex, but it made me realize that my music really can make a difference. That I didn't have to be some, desk job, nothing black and white character that does nothing but build things that could be potentially used for destruction, right? I could simply sit back at a desk, in the comforts of wherever, whenever, and create pieces that didn't exist or remixes of different ideas to entertain people. Something for both you and me to enjoy. Over the time, and even while I was still playing the game, when I started interacting with the community more, things had less of a rose-tint colors to my glass, if you will. There were some very obvious flaws, and I'm not talking about bugs. I mean, community to developers, and mostly just the way development is handled. After having a one-on-one talk with them before I made this decision, I do understand why they do the things they do. And I don't want to speak for them on their behalf. I don't think that does any right, or even if it's in my position to say. Now, from what I've been told on why they do the things they do, were stress and because they believe doubling down is a good thing. Or at least, that's just how they are. They double down on things. Whether that's good or bad, that's up to the person to decide, but they are content with that ideology. As far as I'm aware of, again, correct me if I'm wrong, and furthermore, I'd rather they explain it themselves than me here today, because I am not this person. And furthermore, I cannot see eye to eye with them on their ideology or the way that they work. So, who am I to judge on if this is a good or bad thing? With that all being said, after the conversation that we've had, I do believe and have new hope that maybe the community will be able to enjoy it a bit more. Enjoy having conversations, being able to express themselves, all that kind of thing. No promises, of course, not from me at least, because I have no idea, but even with the hope that I have that something will change, I still can't forgive right now for everything that has happened throughout the past, 7 years that I've played the game. You may all be wondering what those things might be. No, it's not robbing a bank or any crimes and such like that. Just, in my opinion, petty things that just were, or at least felt like they were meant to push away a community, make people hate the game more and leave. I know they joke about it a lot. They like to say, a lot of the developers like to say, dead game, kill game, whatever. But this one really nobody in particular likes to do it. And hey, I'm not against that either. I'm all for a good antagonist. It makes a great story and whatnot, right? However, their actions during those times really did convey to not only me, but the staff members and the community that they really did want to kill the game. And I want to believe that they didn't. I want to believe that they just, were really stressed during those times, or really doubled down on thinking, no, it's just a joke, don't worry about it. But those either bits or jokes kind of stepped the line, at least from what I've seen. Things such as crippling people, I'll call it. When I say crippling, I mean disabling certain features of the game that prevents access to the players, which I know that sounds like a lot of jumble and jargon. What I'm about to explain to you are people's experience who have been hit with this said crippling effect by this said developer, losing access to Nether Hub and Training Grounds. Nether Hub and Training Grounds are two, if not I believe, core features of the game. Training Grounds allowing the players to be able to construct their decks and test them out in a safe environment without wasting their time on dying over and over again to certain enemies. And Nether Hub is this, hub for players to play events, and a lot of the developers' content are in that area too. So when you're crippled, other than the fact that you cannot enter the Nether Hub, you cannot play this developer's content, due to most of their stuff being in there, of course. The other two features that I've heard of being crippled were disabling heal shrines and health items, along with not being able to join leader, which in my opinion just feel really, really petty. See, joining leader doesn't really do much. I mean, you could just join a friend or just walk the distance, but if you know the game or have experience with it, you know very well that loading times are very tedious and long to get from distance to distance. Comparing that to this last one of the health shrines and healing items not being able to be used if you're crippled, this feels like the most petty but very game effective anywhere. Because outside of combat, regeneration is very slow. So you would go outside and use these heal shrines to just, like that, heal right back up and go back into this fight and keep playing the game. Or spend 500 gold to get a health pot, because some areas don't have heal shrines. Whether it be for lore reasons or another, it's inconvenient, but fine. If they want to do it for story, I get it. That's not what this is about. My point is restricting that access, because the only other way for them to heal would be during combat, which is a big hindrance in combat, because if you're supposed to be the tank, the fighter, a healer, or whatever, now you're having to take those turns, that time, to stop, fix yourself up, let your teammates take whatever hits, and now they're low too, and you have a less survivability chance of winning that battle. That's just unfair. Again, I would understand if this was maybe for cheaters or exploiters, sure, but from my understanding, a lot of these people that have described this to me, and the many others that I may not even know about, they've done little to nothing. If anything, voiced some sort of opinion. Maybe they said this card was too good. Maybe they said this card was too bad. Maybe they said this developer content sucks. Maybe they were very rude about how much it sucked. Granted, I'm sure not all of these people were saints, and maybe some were extremely rude about it, cursing out the developer. I don't know. What I do know is that people should be able to voice their opinions on if some content, some card, whatever about the game sucks or is amazing, without having the fear of being crippled. Because there's one thing about being banned, there's another thing about being crippled. You're banned, you can't play the game, and maybe you can appeal it, sure. But when you're crippled, there are times that, as far as I've seen, you're not explained on the reasoning, or better yet, it's for a reasoning of you voiced your opinion. Whether the opinion was rude or not, I feel maybe if there was a guidelines that said, hey, we don't want you to talk about this or that, that would definitely be helpful, and you wouldn't encounter those problems. If you're that stressed about people asking about the same thing over and over again, or maybe you just don't want to deal with that question, then by all means, put up a board somewhere that says, hey, don't talk about this, which yes, it might be a little strict and kind of weird without answering, but people who love the game and love your stuff will respect it to the best of their abilities so that way they can continue playing the game that you, along with all the other developers and staff members, have carefully crafted for the people to enjoy. These people that are still here today in Hexaria aren't just all new people or people with zero experience. I mean, some of them maybe have been fighting an old brick for the past 7 years, sure, but some of them have been playing for a long time everywhere, in every arena, trying all these different things, new and old. They have experience. They've played the game. They've played your game. I feel that they do have that right to have some voice of an opinion, or at least to just share it with the community. Don't you? And if that statement this person has, or opinion that they have, creates this talk in the community, I feel like that's fine too, or that should be respected. Even if you don't want to hear it, there's a reason why so many people talk about it. It's not just because they don't like you or they don't like what you do. Well, maybe a few of them, but it's... there's so many apples in this basket that not even I can speak on their behalf, on anyone's behalf. I'm just gathering what I can, picking from the trees, seeing what I see, hearing what I've heard, and taking my own experience too to share with all of you. And I know it sounds silly because this video is going to be called My Experience for Hexaria, but my experience was with the community, with the developers, as a player, as a musician, as an artist, as a person who tried to do animations and cards, who even made a symphony archetype, or at least tried. I've seen all the branches of the tree and have lived through all the branches of the tree that I could imagine. To say that it was just my experience would be a complete understatement. Now let me be very, very clear and transparent. I don't mean to judge them on anything that they do. I'm just going from what I've experienced and in my own opinions. Not to mention, these are not words that are coming from me only. This is from multiple community members that I've talked with, either in-game, privately, even to the point of staff members and previous staff members that feel this way, of the sense of toxicness. It's weird to say it like that because it's dramatic, but it truly is disappointing. I mean, I don't know. It feels weird that players are punished for stating things about the games that are either true or just opinions. When back then, at least if someone did have a negative opinion or was very blunt about something, it was more of a brush off of, we don't care. But I guess years and years of that can get annoying to some, which I get. I'm sure if you folks over here would tell me, oh, this music doesn't sound good, or oh, this is that, all that kind of stuff, it'd probably get to me as well. But it's up to me as a person to decide, is that gonna demotivate me? Is this gonna make me hate all of you? Or am I gonna try to learn from it? I could always double down and continue doing what I do, but my audience would of course never grow, and some will even leave in disappointment, knowing that I could do something better, knowing and seeing that I do have potential to do something greater. Or I can better myself, realize what the community wants, and still do the things I love, sure, but give back to the same ones that love to see me here today. Again, that's just the ideology that I have for any creation in general. To always give back to the audience, but make sure to give back to yourself as well. You know, kind of 50-50 deal, right? After all, I'm sure not all of you became artists because you wanted to just make a couple people laugh or to be popular. No, some of you guys did it because it was just a good way to release some stress, or because you just love doing it. You're here for the game, right? I will say it was a very, very hard decision for me to come up to about this, and it took a lot for me to realize that this was not good for me. I mean, after hearing things such as, wow, your music is great, but it's a shame that it's associated with whatever, or hey, you know, this person did something to me, this developer Do you think you could talk with them? Because I don't know how I'm supposed to contact them or whatever. I don't know what I did wrong. You seem to be the closest one who works with them, right? Hearing that desperation or that annoyance of, wow, something that you create is amazing, but it's a shame that it's tattered by this other art. It gets you to a point. I'll give you a reason why I worked with this developer specifically, more often than not. Other than the fact that we were good chums, and we are still good chums, as far as I'm aware of. I don't know if you guys know this game called Toho. Some bull hell or Danmaku, if you will. Game where you're dodging bullets left and right, there's a lot on your screen, beautiful colors and whatnot. It's very hard, a very difficult game in my opinion, but what kept me going was the music and art of it. The longer you lasted in the battle, the better everything got. At least visually and audibly. The fight was still very difficult, but it made me want to keep going. And I thought maybe, just maybe, my music could do the same thing for these said challenge contents. However, there's one flaw with that. These challenge contents were really not received well. Not by community, myself, others, staff. I mean, don't get me wrong, I get it. Challenge content can be interesting, especially for late games, since considerably a lot of the community members are late game people, so, you know, having that challenge things while we're all desperately waiting for the new main content, it's good. I'm not saying that's bad at all. However, when the challenge is, can you do enough damage? Or better yet, when you're not being told anything, or you can't even share anything about it, you know? Maybe it's a puzzle, and you want to work together with someone? Well, you can't really discuss about that. Or, I don't know, when you need to really take down this very tanky enemy, and that's obviously not meant for people to just bring whatever. You have to bring this set of cards. It's kind of not ideal. At least in my opinion, and from, again, what I hear from others. It's not fun. Fine, you don't have to play it, I hear you saying. Which, yes, true, we don't have to play it. The same way as you don't have to create it. Why bother creating something that you know people will not enjoy? Or that will bring anger or hatred or malice towards each other, or even to you in general? You know? I don't understand that ideology, and I don't think I will ever, even after talking with this dev. Even to the point of doubling down certain situations, instead of admitting, yeah, no, things were really bad to the public. I don't want my music associated with that. I know again, with taking back from what I said before of how I want my music to help strengthen those parts of the game where, yes, it's annoying at times and it can be frustrating, but you know what? The longer you last, the longer this song will last, and you can enjoy the fight alongside with it. It's kind of hard to do that when most of the answer requires you to kill it in one shot, or to just really focus on not dying. You know? I never wanted my creations to be used for that kind of malice. And I guess I'm the moron for not realizing that sooner, that maybe having hope every time something new would come up, just maybe something would be different. Just maybe, this time, people will love it. People will have fun, and the developer will consider, you know what? Let's make something that everyone will love. I'm not saying they didn't. I'm sure some of the creations that they made were genuinely thought to be, you know what? The community is gonna love this. It's something new, it's interesting, it's a new mechanic, but people won't play by it. And I'm sure as a developer, and myself including, I would be wondering, I wonder why people don't want to try this. Maybe it's because of the experience people had. The memories people remember your stuff by. If your previous things were meant to be super difficult, or unfair, unfun, or how you treat the community even when answers are found, or they want to know more, or have criticism, are just slashed across. People remember that. And it's really hard to change the people's opinions. I'm sure anyone knows that. Which then led to me to, well, here. There was this one certain event. The tree raid. That one, I don't want to say that was a tipping point for me, the tree conquest, but it certainly was a eye-opener, to say the least. It had everything that I tried to look past right in my face. Punishing players for discussing about it, for complaining about it. The rewards being somewhat interesting, but certainly not what the community expected for having such confusing, difficult boss. Well, not confusing. I'd say more just very, very difficult that requires you to buff shot or strat them. You know? There was one there. There was one lad there that had a very interesting mechanic. One that I've never seen in my 7 years of playing this game. But even if there was that one cool, interesting mechanic, because if I'm not mistaken, the rest of them were just answers of buff shots. And not because, people don't want to play the mechanic, it's because it encourages it. Hell, the cool mechanic that I just talked to you about, it encourages stalling more than anything, because you can't attack it. It has invincibility, meaning you can't do any damage and are forced to wait. And I suppose that wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't a one-day thing. An event lasting for a short amount of time. Why even bother creating such a thing? Oh, sorry, not event. A bit. A joke. And that's not me being rude, that's what I remember it being called. A bit, not an event. A bit. I try to put 110% into my work, into my creations of compositions. So you can imagine my frustration and disappointment after I composed the first variation of the Tree Conquest theme, of how it's going to be. I was even offered to add the symphony people into it, but I felt like I've heard the community before and recently that they're tired of these difficult, annoying challenges that are just promoting you to strat them. You don't have to strat them. You don't have to play them. Fine. But they want to. They want to play your game. They want to enjoy and love your content. Every time. I want to enjoy and love the content. The pieces that I help create with the music. I want to love them. I think Alajandro is a perfect example of just how far it went down the rabbit hole. I still remember seeing some early developments of the battle where it was being able to be beaten with simple canvas cards, which, okay, yeah, you know, that's fine. I suppose it wasn't meant to be that easy. Fair. But it definitely was a new version of a solo boss. This game has a bit of an issue with how solo bosses are handled, where usually you just play like Dead by Daylight, looping around the killer until they slowly die, which that's a whole different story and something that I'm sure the community could speak better on their behalf, right? But then to see it constantly get buff, I don't remember if it was day after day or week after week. It was enough to really feel like a roadmap where, you know, those Christmas calendars where you open up the day and it's maybe some joke or some candy that you get to eat? No, every time you open the door, it was something that changed about the fight to make it harder for you, the player, to enjoy and do. I put a lot of effort into those songs, and I hated that I had to take them down. Well, sorry, I didn't have to take them down. I wanted to. You guys wanted to. And I don't blame it. I understand from both perspectives. I wanted to because I don't want my music to be associated with something that will constantly be made either to spite the players or to just be an annoyance. Something that is meant to be not beaten, right? I want to entertain and bring some kind of joy, whimsy to whatever fight that there is. But if the fight is really not meant to be joy and whimsical, why bother? Why am I bothering to put this much effort into something that I know will be changed to be harder for the player, or just not meant to be beaten? Always moving the goalposts, somehow in some way. I hated that. You players hated it, as far as I've heard. It's a lot. But what good does it do to me to remember all those little quote-unquote things that happened that made you all this uncomfortable with those certain types of content, right? I'm sure if you're still here listening, you know about a lot more than I could ever explain here about those types of things, right? So, moving forward from that, I, along with many others, do hope that there is some change in this development, if you will. And who am I to say that it's not been getting better? I have seen other developers that have taken notice of the community and have been willing to be open ears, open-minded about things, even interacting with the community more, which is great. I love it. That's what they want. That's what we want. That's what I'd hope would happen. Maybe sooner, not 7 years down the road, but it's a start. And I do hope the community, when they start seeing things are getting better, that they take notice. The same way as I hope that old staff members and old players, when they see this game again or hear about it, that they want to come back. Because believe me, they want to love the game. They want to enjoy the game. Everyone who's still there for the past, well, I don't remember how long this game's been active, but from how long I've been here, the past 7 years, people have still wanted to play this game. There are still people here today that enjoy and love the story. Why try and kill it? Quote unquote, of course. Even if I could see eye to eye with that, I couldn't possibly work with it. My goals are, I want to entertain as many people as I can. Sure, it's fine if one person comes along and just takes a listen, or if it's 100. I don't care in that sense. But if it can spread and make people smile, then of course I'm going to strive for more people. How can I do that if there's a developer who wants the game to, jokingly or not, die? It seems counterintuitive, especially when the game is advertised to be a passion project. If it's a passion project, then I imagine everyone's giving it their all to make it the best that they can, to make it as beautiful and entertaining as they can be. And you see, I wouldn't mind if saying that would be a joke, because, I mean, what good is a story without a good antagonist, right? I won't judge for that. It's more so the actions that came across it that made me, the community, and staff member really believe that their true motive is to kill the game. And some of you out there, even after mentioning all the good things and the conversations that I've had with this dev, to say otherwise might not even believe me. Which is fair, you don't have to believe me, for I'm sure you've seen it with your own eyes, or heard it with your own ears, or even experienced it. I do hope that after the conversation that I've had with them, along with this whole thing, something will change. And I know that's very odd for me to say, for I know I call myself the greatest musician out there. I am a simple street boy. I just make music for fun, to make you people smile. I don't think I'm that big of an influence. I hope I'm not. God, if I was, I don't know what I'd do with all that. You know? I don't know how to close this statement, and in all honesty, I haven't really been going on a script. Tiny glances here and there, but honestly, I checked only once to make sure I got the phrases of, you know, what people have said about my music in comparison to the content was. And even then, I missed a few there and here. Maybe it would have been better if I did write my script to be more coherent instead of this rambling session, but I'm not here to expose people. I'm not here to say the game's bad and that you shouldn't play it. In fact, if you're new here and this is the first bloody video you've seen, I am so sorry this is the first one you saw. Please, don't judge everything by this video alone. Go out there and play the game. Play Hexaria. Give it a fair shot. Interact with the community and have fun. Make new adventures, stories, experience, friends, everything. Don't let this stop you from enjoying it. please. It'd kill me to know that this is what got you to stop playing it. Well, maybe it might not kill me, but it definitely feel really sucky if this was the case. It's why, again, I wrote this as to be a more my experience with Hexaria rather than why I quit the team. I want a fair shot for everyone, and I want to give everyone a chance. I feel like I've given this game enough chances of change to the point where I am drained and burnt out. I haven't been even able to compose many of the songs, such as this one that you're currently hearing, because of that. It's severely affected my creativity and flow of how I make my music. But I'm bouncing back, as you can see with this. Very proud of this piece, I will say. But enough about me. I do hope there is, again, some change in how development is. I'm sure that the staff members who have left, who feel the same way as I do today, for this reason or some other in the past, would be more than happy to come back if things were to be that way. Same with the community. People who have left in disappointment or annoyance of how things are treated or done around there. It's a good place. Again, believe me, Hexaria is a very, very strange but fun community. And I feel like if you're new here, or if you're like me debating if I should leave or not, stay for a little longer. Just a little. Just to see if something changes. Make your own opinions, make your own statements. Of course, by any means, don't be rude about it. Be brutally honest, but don't be rude, as they say. Criticism is a good thing. Constructive criticism, might I add. With that, I think I will depart now. This studio has been a great thing to have open to share my pieces with all of you folks who didn't want to play the game and would rather just hear the music. Deep down, I made this because, well, a certain incident that happened with a broken mask OSC being used, but another one was to have a more stable area where I can upload my music to say, hey, look at my proud works and enjoy. But also, maybe something self-consciously was people don't want to play those parts of the content in the game. And it's a shame that they don't. So why not make a platform where they can sit back and relax and enjoy a song that maybe they would have enjoyed if it wasn't there. Again, I don't know if I will upload anything anymore here, specifically. If you want, stay tuned, stay around. I'm not deleting the channel, I'm not planning to delete any of the videos. Don't take any of this out on the wrong way. I loved and adore all of you equally. You were great and treated me with so much care and appreciation. I could never ask for a better team. Truly, I could never ask for a better team. There are things that need to be done, myself including, but I feel like this is something. Hopefully this leads into a better path, and who knows? Again, I don't want to give that false hope to anyone here who's listening that I'll come back. I really, really don't want to. I was told by someone specifically, the best way that I've ever heard it being conveyed, it's like a toxic relationship. I want to stay so that way I can keep composing for all of you guys and entertain, but on the off chance that nothing changes, then I would be back at square one, wouldn't I be? Putting all this effort and hard work and pieces that I care for and want to give to all of you folks, only for it to then be just overshadowed, loomed over by something that just isn't fun to play. You guys didn't want that. I didn't want that. Are you really gonna go back to start that cycle again? So, I want to give myself time. Myself time to really see if change does happen. Or hear from you guys if change does happen. Or anyone even. It's not gonna be a day, it's not gonna be a week. Hopefully it's not gonna be a month or 3 months, maybe not even a year. But let's just keep it that I'm leaving. Please. If I ever do come back, I'm gonna feel really, really terrible for everything. This especially, since, I mean, I've been told already that they would welcome me with open arms if I ever decided to come back. And I'd be more than grateful to. And am grateful that I even get that opportunity after explaining that I was gonna do this, of all things, you know, talk about both the good and unfortunate about the game, and being very vocal about it. I mean, shoot, I feel like that's already a start, is it not? Being able to express yourself, that's a good start. And I hope you guys, if you guys want, you don't have to, in the comment section, talk about your personal experience with the game. You know, voice your opinions on how things are. Don't get into a fight. Please be respectful. But you can. Even you, the staff members, or even people who are developers, talk about your own experience with the game and how you loved it, or why you loved it, or things maybe you hated, makes you angry, whatever. It's a family, a village that I was happy to be a part of, and will always be happy to be a part of. I don't know how to end this. I really don't. I guess this piece that you're listening to has been called Midnight Aftertaste. Specifically because, well, I was hungry one night and I scrapped a song because it was way too intense for a talk like this. But I think it does it some justice to the dialogue that I've portrayed today. After working tirelessly through the day, chit-chatting in the afternoon, only to go back home at night, maybe stop by a little bar, you sit at the table and maybe you take a sip of whiskey. You realize that it leaves a very, very bittersweet taste in your mouth, doesn't it? Is it good? Is it bad? You don't know. You don't care. You're tired. But you're happy. Finally, the moon rises and can start a new day. And all that's left is the aftertaste, up until the morning. Beautiful, isn't it? I guess now's a good time than ever to mention that I will also be making a new channel. If I haven't already said that before, I'd have to check within the audio, but I want this place to be archived to maintain all the Hexaria related stuff. Don't mind these videos, I understand. In retrospect, I should have made a separate channel, one for Hexaria, one for my own work, but I never thought I would ever be leaving the community, so I thought, yeah, I might as well just have this thing just for them, right? Yeah. In the other channel, I will be doing more other pieces, if that makes sense. Maybe I'll be more graphic? I don't know. If you are a young audience member who just is here because, you know, silly little cute Roblox games and you like the music, cool, great. Don't go to that channel, please. Not until you're older, I beg of you. That other channel, I don't know what I'll do, but it certainly will be away from Roblox. If I do anything Roblox related, either I'll make another channel for that, or maybe I'll just put it in here because this place is already mainly Roblox stuff. So, we'll see. Do I know the name for the channel? No, but in post-credits, once I, do the video editing and whatnot, I'll probably think of something. Something along this little guy, this character, the one that you've been seeing, well, now. This guy was first made before this guy. Kit. They're a kitsune. Well, a mask-wearing kitsune guy. Don't worry about it, I'll explain it in the other channel. But pretty much, he is the mascot that I've been using for, if not everything that I've done. Most of my arts, stories, all that kind of stuff. Even down to, well, the Roblox character that you see today, both wearing the kitsune mask and having that same aesthetic, if you will. But enough about that. I really should be wrapping this up so I can get this uploaded as soon as possible. I'm sure all of you have been waiting so patiently and eager to find out why I left. But that statement really did summarize it that I had in the community. me and developer just didn't see eye to eye. I feel as we're still good pals and all. With everyone especially. I don't hate them or have any malice towards them, and I hope they feel the same way and understand why I felt this way. As far as I've been told, we both have a good understanding of each other after a conversation and whatnot. It was good. It was a very civil conversation, as shocking as it may sound to some of you who know this dev. Believe me, they're a great guy, and fun to chat and talk around. A great teacher too. Some of those models and animations, yes, they were inspired by previous staff members who have left for this reason or a different, but this developer really did help me learn to have more options on my platter that I can now hopefully do for all of you guys now and share. I'm grateful. And to you, the head developer of the game, I appreciate you and adore the opportunity that you've given me to help compose for this game. It's been an honor, really, it has been. A bumpy trip to say the least, but one that I would never trade for the world. And I hope anyone out there who is striving to be some contributor to this game, or hell, even want to, give him a call, do it! Go ahead! Again, don't let this ruin your experience or change your mind about things. This is just my experience. Everyone else's is different, and even though I have stated before, yeah, this is some experience that I've heard from other people too, whether it be old staff members or old community members, that doesn't summarize everything. It shouldn't summarize everything. You as a player, staff, developer, whoever you are, should play the game yourself, see it for yourself, and make your own judgment. I'm happy I did this. I'm happy I finally got this all off my chest. You have no idea how freeing this is. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. I'm sorry. This has all been very, very, very off script. I'm free. Finally. I was never held down by chains. There are more so chains of my own, but finally. Oh, goodness. Well, let's close things down, wrap things up, shut down the studio, and move on. I hope all of you adventurers, you audience members, have a lovely